Did Andrew Wiggins have 38 points last night?
What
a great fourth option.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
Yes.
Wiggy.
Good
They
for
call
you,
him
Broussard.
Iguodala.
Wait for medals.
I'm calling him Wiggy.
Wait for medals. Just hold on. Just hold on tight. We got about 10 minutes till medals, but go ahead and answer the question. Yeah.
Okay. Now, look, Jenna, the Warriors are not a legitimate threat to win the West. I don't think that's any revelation. But sure, teams should be concerned about playing them because they could be a spoiler. They could either make it incredibly tough on one of the top seeds or even upset one of the top seeds. They've got major championship pedigree and medal with their two best players. We know that. Steph Curry, we obviously know what he brings. Anytime he steps on the floor, he's going to be dangerous with his shooting ability. And Draymond has started to score a little bit better recently. And people have been ripping Draymond. But he has not had a bad year. He's not a scorer, and he hasn't scored for the most part. But as far as playmaking and defense, he's been very good. And I agree with him totally. When you are in a position where you're playing with house money and nobody expects a thing from you, and if you lose in the first round or even the play-in, you're not going to really get criticized. But if you upset somebody, it's gravy and everybody's praising you. That's a great position to be in. And furthermore, there is nobody. It's a weird season with the injuries, with the condensed schedule. The seeding is not totally indicative of how good these teams are. And the best teams aren't necessarily in the best seeds. You look at the top seeds in the West. Is Utah really scaring anybody? Especially with Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley. They'll be coming off injuries as they enter the playoffs. Is Phoenix really scaring anybody? I mean, outside of Chris Paul, nobody's got any playoff experience for the most part. Denver, Jamal Murray, we know is out there. Second best player is Michael Porter Jr. Really kind of in his first extensive playoff experience. They're not scaring anybody. So, yeah, I think that Golden State could play a spoiler's role and, ruin somebody's season or at least make it a lot tougher on them. So, sure, teams should be concerned about playing them.
So I was with you all along until you said people aren't scared of Denver. I mean, Denver's got the league MVP, right, Broussard? So if they got the league MVP, people should be terrified of them. You got the league MVP. So they should be really scary. You got the best player in basketball, and Nikola Jokic is going to get the award as the best player in basketball. So people should be scared. But certainly in the first round, we're talking about first round. Yeah, certainly in the first round, they had the MVP. So, yeah, and the year before in the first round, absolutely. But I don't want to argue with you because, we're talking about the first round for the Warriors. I don't think you got the Warriors going to the conference finals. Yeah. Agreed. But, that's because they don't have a league MVP. They don't. But hold on. Let's address where this is at. I do think the Warriors could absolutely upset Utah in round one. And I'm old enough to remember when I was a casual and a bad basketball fan because I didn't love Utah's ball movement and respect the Stifle Tower. But at the end of the day, we all know Utah's a regular season team, not a playoff team. Their best offensive weapon is going to be getting back from injury right when the playoffs begin. And if Golden State ends up the 8 seed, which I think they likely will, that is a disaster for Utah. It is almost nothing to gain, everything to lose, and they will be a 1 versus 8 where the 8 has the best player in the series. I also do think that while Draymond Green at this point in his career is not a super useful regular season player, as Draymond has said before, there's 82-game players and there's 16-game players. I am a 16-game player. I think Draymond is incredibly useful in the right matchup again in the postseason. And if we remember Utah, who's going to be the 1 seed, it would look like after Phoenix's loss last night. If we remember Utah last year in round 1, Jamal Murray dropped 50 points every other game. Why? Because alleged defensive player of the year Rudy Gobert stands within 3 feet of the basket at all times, and he just gets free shots from the perimeter. Try that against Steph Curry. While Rudy Gobert might be a great defensive player to have if you're going up against a team such as Milwaukee, he is not super useful against Golden State because Golden State is just going to say, okay, we're going to run pick and rolls. You can't switch it because of Gobert, and Steph's going to have his heyday with you. So, Brandon, I think that there is a very specific team that should be afraid of the Warriors. That is the Jazz, and that's the team they are most likely to face if they do make it to the postseason, which I think they will.
I don't know, man. This is a simple answer to me, Nick. I mean, play-in game, yes. It's one game. You got Steph Curry. You go back to his Davidson season years when he led their team to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament. This dude is known for the big shots and big games. So play-in game, yeah, you should be nervous. I don't care who you are in the NBA. But we're talking about a 7-game series. They just don't have enough. To me, that's the answer. They don't have enough. I don't trust Wiggy. I'm sorry, Chris. Andrew Wiggins, he's a sub-20 guy. He's going to give you 18 points. That's what he's going to give you a night. So what he did last night, hats off to him. Great job. Playoff intensity game. He took it to another level, but I don't see him doing that consistently through a 7-game series. And then Draymond Green. Draymond Green, he's at his best when he has everybody around him. For him to be a focal point and be the second best player on that team, that's not enough for them to get past a Utah and not even the Phoenix Suns, who's struggling the last couple games.
See, here's my take on it, Broussard. I think the Suns were okay losing the way they did. If Andrew Wiggins needs to score almost 40 points and we lose, they're like, all right. If Draymond's got to have a triple-double and we lose, they're like, okay, we are not going to let Steph beat us. They decided to swarm Steph. He went 1 for 11 from 3. He was 7 for 22 from the field, and they just collapsed on him. They're playing a triangle defense. It's like Phil Jackson, but the opposite. Oh, 3 guys around him. Let's move the ball around. Uh-oh, maybe Steph gets it again. Oh, we got 3 guys on you. Let anyone else take the shot and beat us. And they were okay with that. I think this is at the end of the game. We got 3's not enough. Let's put 4 guys on him. I think Phoenix was like, look, if we lose by anyone else beating us other than Steph Curry, so be it. We're not going to let Steph beat us. I think that is going to be a preview of what we see when teams need to match up against the Warriors. We're like, you know what? Let Draymond try to cook. Let Andrew Wiggins try to cook. We're not going to let Steph light us up and kick us out of the playoffs.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Phoenix because Nick focused on Utah, and I get what he's saying. But Phoenix could be in trouble against Golden State as well. Look, Wild, you're right. They loaded up on Steph. You just saw it from the highlights. It was incredible. If they do that, though, Draymond can play make. There's no that wasn't an aberration. He can make plays, and if he gets in the paint, he can finish. And Wiggins, it's not like Wiggins was hot from 3. Again, if your defense collapses on Steph to the degree that they did last night, Wiggins can get in the lane and make plays. He is a scorer. He's not a good shooter, but he's actually shot decently this year from 3. He can be streaky. Yep. He's 38% from there, but he can get in the lane and score if your defense is going to be that jumbled up because you're so focused on Steph. And then the Jordan Poole could get hot. The Warriors didn't shoot well from 3 last night either. They were 11 for 27, I believe. So not only should Utah be worried about Golden State, but Phoenix, I'm sorry, Brandon, Phoenix as well.
Guys,
I know it's your team, Brandon.
No, we just got to hold on. We have to be honest about who these teams are and what, because we're not talking about a play-in. I think most of us believe the Warriors are going to get into the playoffs either by winning their first play-in game or their second play-in game. The question is, can they win a 7-game series? And in order for them to win a 7-game series, they need the right matchup. And I would argue Utah is a better matchup than Phoenix. And they need Steph to have at least 2, probably 3 40-point games. The way they beat Phoenix last night is not duplicable unless you're going to say, hey, Andrew Wiggins is going to have his next career best game. And I know Broussard still is holding on to his Andrew Wiggins stock like Dogecoin, like, hey, it's to the moon, America. But I don't think the rest of everyone else
Never
is.
sell.
It's going to have to happen through Steph. And I think against Utah, it actually could. I think Steph could have a brilliant series against Utah, Jenna, because I don't think they match up well with him.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.